GM.
GM, good morning, everyone. How's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Especially hearing that rap at the end of Summer Nights last night, Dustin.
Oh yeah, it was all InvArch.
Dude, that was sick. Did you like freestyle on the spot or did you like kind of prep for like before it?
I prep pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
No, but it was like I didn't prep like before. I was doing it as everyone was talking. I was writing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like to keep things like as relevant and current as possible.
Yeah. I usually just do it on the fly at that moment because it's just relevant. And then like I think there was a couple I did before. I think the Sub Zero. I did that one before. But I
Yeah.
never got to wrap it though because I think I missed it or there wasn't one. I think there wasn't one, and I was like, dude. yeah, I like the InVarch rap I made because I usually put you guys in there, but like this one was like all everything, with the because I do I've done I think I rapped about OSIF before. Yeah, I rapped about OSIF, but I never rapped about Saturn, which I've you know fairly new. So um,
Yeah, man. No, like I always appreciate whenever you do get to actually demonstrate your musical ability, and specifically like for those that don't know Dustin, um, yeah, man, this guy can spit lyrics. This guy can, he's a real lyricist. At least I like to think so. um, and the way that he crafts his his lyrics essentially, and how creative he can be, especially on let alone a topic on on blockchain tech, on the Polkadot ecosystem, the tech stack, and even more narrow, like on a specific project. I was super impressed. Like I was already impressed the first time I heard you rap, and I think that was in Texas.
yeah.
Um, but like to hear you rap about the most up to date uh information on InvArch specifically, like dude, that was a whole nother level.
Thanks. Yeah, I honestly since Texas, that was kind of like my rebirth of rapping because I don't. I mean, I rap, but like it was never like me rapping to people all the time like I do now. so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's honestly like if you guys weren't there, I probably wouldn't be rapping right now with all you guys. To be honest, like
Ooh, man, appreciate that, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that happened. And honestly, yeah, like the entire atmosphere of the community, I think would be quite different if that didn't happen.
yeah, I feel definitely more connected with the community since now everyone's like, oh yeah, he's a rapper, and like taking pictures with me. I'm like a mini celebrity, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, man. No, it was amazing, and on behalf of the team, like we truly do appreciate it. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, no, that was fun to hear. But yeah, so welcome everyone, InvArch community members, supporters, and broader community members in the Polkadot space. Um, Thank you for joining myself, and everyone else as well from the InvArch community in today's first InvArch Weekly Community Call of 2023. And I would like to say, first and foremost, I mean, Happy New Year to all of you out there in the Paraverse, and immediately, Happy New Year to everyone in the audience of this Twitter space. So, as usual, starting off each call, I'll go into basically like how I've been and how my week has been going. And in short, I mean, I feel super accomplished this week. Just really pushing out quality content, interacting with the community, getting things back in motion, and really just super proud of specifically, you know, not just the InvArch community, but even like the InvArch ambassadors, and how well that they've been doing in their roles, and how well they've been taking care of the community. Um, Even more specifically, like during this OSIF staking public testing event. So, so yeah, like we are truly starting the year strong here at the InvArch Network. Does anybody want to share something about themselves, about their week, maybe how their New Year's went? The floor is really open to all of you, and if you'd like to jump on stage, I will gladly accept you, and you just have to request.
Man, I can jump on here.
Go
um,
for it, man.
yeah, so it's been a beginning of the week. Obviously we're all kind of rolling out of bed. It's still 2022 still in some of our brains, but things are definitely rolling along here. Teams coming back around with a start. At least on our side. Devs are, they'll work anyways. They're in the background, but marketing team, we're back in. If you've seen all the tweets, obviously we're back, and yeah, the huge stuff kind of come down the pipeline with SOTA. Not the shill star in that sense, but and then me personally, been taking a lot of personal time, being able to make that balance. And like after spending the time and even talking to some of my colleagues, we're realizing, that balance is very important in that sense. Like we need personal time, and it's hard to walk away from all this because, it's always revolving. It's always moving. If we blink, there's, in crypto, it's like a year, so um, it's hard to walk away from something I passionately love about this space, but it's also at the same time is creating space for my personal self to do more. Because in the end, if I don't have that pillar for myself and that foundation, it's hard for me to keep doing more. And it's like we run out of inspiration, we run out of energy or whatever. It's hard to maintain that if you don't put back into yourself. So this is what I tell everybody is that even how much depend or regardless of what we do in life, like you always have to put gas in the vessel, right? And there's nobody else can put gas in that vessel. They can have everything around you to create happiness, but they can't create happiness for you. So always take time for yourself and always create balance. Yeah.
That was beautiful, man. Thank you for that. And we have spoken on this topic before, but I think it's a topic that shouldn't be just like a one and done type of conversation. And even myself, for sure, like I feel uh, going through the year, or at least my first year in the Polkadot ecosystem at InvArch, I really had to come to realize that like yourself, your mental health, your composure, um, and your health overall, like super important to pay attention to, and to really nurture and take care of. Um, because of course, I mean, if you don't take care of yourself first, then how will you be able to perform for not just yourself, but for first and foremost, I mean, like the community, at least in my eyes, and I know in a lot of people's eyes in like the ecosystem, they come first, and without them, like what we're doing and what we're building is truly for the community, um, especially at the InvArch Network. We really want to bring value um, to not just our immediate community, but to the entire Polkadot community. Um, and we really have to ensure ourselves that we are well optimized when it comes to our well-being and health, so that we can deliver successfully in terms of all the solutions and innovations um, and resolutions that will make what we want of an ideal Web3 future. So, yeah, and thank you for that, Dustin. We do have other people that have come up to the stage, so I will open up the floor. Whoever wants to speak first, go ahead, and we can take it from there.
Maybe I'll jump in just kind of on the same topic. Like here in Web3, I think we have this overrepresentation of engineer types, and with that comes overrepresentation of specific types of thinking, and some people in the groups and projects are more prone to getting hyper focused, I think, and having long productive streaks of coding or just generally getting stuff done. But I think it's good for us to take a step back and chill every now and again and observe the Pomodoro effect, which is basically just after a long stretch of work is taking 15 to 20 minutes off and working on something completely different. So clearing your mind, because often what happens is, we'll be trying to solve these problems and working quite intensely for long periods of time, but it's only when we step away that things actually start to come together for us and we can consider the bigger picture. And that's often when we find these solutions that have been evading us in our kind of like daily work. So yeah, it's super important to take time off and relax and just collect your thoughts every now and again. Happy New Year, by the way, everyone.
Thank you, Megan, and Happy New Year to you too. Really awesome to have you here, as always. And before I jump into actually a topic that was just brought up by Megan, but does anybody else want to speak on the current topic before we move on?
Oh, can I say something? It's maybe not for like mental health, but it is very important. Happy New Year, everyone! I just want to say how I'm happy with OSIF testing event. I feel like it's getting a lot of hype. I like the energy. Traffic is really high. And I love how many people are joining and supporting the project. The one thing I want to say, I see that Dakota is very active on Twitter as well. I think it's also amazing. I saw it in one of his resolutions that he wanted to be active. I think it's very important for founders to be like more closer to community, to speak up, and like it shows integrity and it wants people to support you and follow you, right? And the other thing I saw like the other day, and what I want to say, the main idea here is I love that the community here is so strong, so supportive. Everyone is just so fanatic about Polkadot. And the other day I saw the post, someone was saying that who's using it? Like no one is using it anyways. And I see people just jumping and saying like you guys are wrong. But the other thing I noticed that I feel like the space here is so masculine. So the guy is just having like a pissing contest and saying, "Hey, no, my project is better. No, my project is better." So I just want to I say that we need more women in tech. We need more women in space to kind of balance it out. Sorry, maybe I'm just like too random, but like that's just my thoughts today. But love you guys and have a good day. And I feel like there's going to be so many things going on in 2023 for InvArch, for Polkadot, for our project. So stay cool. So that's all.
Oh, well, thank you, Natty. Honestly, I mean, every time you offer your insights, I mean, they're always welcomed and they're always appreciated. On the most, I would say, prominent subject matter that you brought up is, why aren't there, or at least on the surface, when you look at it from just the surface perspective, I mean, like, why aren't there more women in Web3 and therefore like more women in, teams and, even at the executive level, and even more present within like the communities themselves? And I mean, that's something that, to be honest, when I first came into the space, that was the first topic or subject that was brought, like, that I noticed without even having to ask about it. And I'd like to highlight Chaos DAO, because they have like a specific channel for women, and for women in the community to like congregate within Chaos DAO and to, at least to me, like that was me receiving that as like wow, like they actually prioritize women. Like that's awesome. I would say like, yeah, like naturally there is much more of a larger male presence. But that's not to say that, you know, it should always stay like that. Like honestly, um, there is so much to learn from each other, and I feel like women can bring just as much as value, even more so, to be honest. But we can go into that rabbit hole another time. um, uh, I can be a bit more philosophical on that, but the space is about the InvArch network and the week so far. But nonetheless, it's a very important topic to, you know, not to put on the back burner, and we'll definitely revisit that. But overall, thank you, Natty, for sharing your insights and sharing your thoughts, and it's always appreciated. And Yaki, I saw that you raised your hand up, so yeah, go ahead.
Morning and happy new year, everybody. Bark, bark. It's always nice to see Dustin, Megan, AJ, Natty, and everyone else in this space. And just wanted to chime into what the last speakers have mentioned, you know, on the topic of mental health and women and different other kinds of demographics in Web3. I totally agree that we need to focus on ourselves and also empower those who have a small voice and really amplify what they have to say, because it is it's kind of like climate change. You need biodiversity to offset the effects of global warming, right? But in Web3, I think the more intelligent people we have in the space, the more we can shore up on things that we're not aching to seeing. If we're hyper focused on something else, at least there are eyes on everything, and being able to get that information in such a small amount of time is sort of what this space is all about. It's learning together, being informed together, moving together, growing the space together. And I'm super excited about how InvArch is allowing creators in this economy to achieve that. And it's super early, but the ideas are really solid. So can't wait to peruse all of that technology in 2023.
Thank you, Yaki. Really do appreciate that. You know, that's really something that we are striving for, is to truly open up the space more, and to make available as much opportunity as possible for any kind of creator. You know, not even just technical creators, and by that I mean developers, which are just as like, you know, valued in the space. But I mean, if you're anyone from an architect to an innovator to an inventor to a musician, you know, to a visual artist, right? Or if you're even like a content creator, right? Like those are any kind of creator that you are, you know, you are who we are building for. Um, and to also like really like innovate that process, and to really bring the best out of that, you know, out of the creator economy, and the value that we can really just extract from that, um, and to really just share it with everyone, right? So yeah, thank you for your thoughts, Jackie. Really do appreciate it. So starting the week off on the UDL DAO front, all UDLs, if you are a UDL and if you've checked your wallet, uh, they were airdropped Tinker. So until tomorrow, January 7th, I believe is, which was in Dakota's announcement in UDL DAO. Every time a UDL is claimed, we will also send out Tinker. So be sure to redeem your ticket before this deadline, or unfortunately, you will miss the airdrop. And also on January 7th, we will start allowing individuals to redeem the rainbow tickets using a similar process as before. And more information about this will be given later in the week. and this window will be open for another week as well. And then also during this week, we will implement, or we are looking to at least implement, a temporary DAO autonomy plan, which is acting as a rather of a placeholder while we wait for the Daoist CDK. And this plan will entail proposals to give more members of the DAO, otherwise known as UDLs, leadership and rights, and to create a more of a inclusive experience for the UDL DAO community. On Tuesday, a thread was released by the InvArch Network Twitter account on the OSIF protocol about it being a protocol that will evolve over time. So if you don't know, version 1 of OSIF, which is the On-Chain Innovation Funding Protocol on the InvArch Network, version 1, aka Streamlined Staking, will display that the InvArch Tinkernet, so our sister parachain on the Kusama network, can function as an effective funding portal and offer a basic funding system that can be built upon. Two main features this version will showcase is registering INV cores and also staking Tinker tokens towards registered INV cores. And it will be used to influence the distribution of Tinker dedicated to supporting creators on the network. The OSIF protocol developed by the InvArch Network will initially include basic features such as simple staking in order to prevent abuse of the system by bad actors. However, this first version of the protocol will not include more advanced milestone-based protections that would allow for more complex funding arrangements, but instead it will demonstrate the ability of the InvArch Tinkernet to serve as a funding portal and, like I said, provide a basic system for distributing funding to creators on the network. And the amount of Tinker funding that INV cores receive is determined by the amount of support that they are given compared to other registered INV cores. And if an INV core does not receive a minimum level of support, it won't receive any rewards. Those who stake Tinker tokens will receive a yield that is the same as that received by other Tinker token holders. Now, I would love to hear about your thoughts on the OSIF protocol, at least your first impressions of it, and maybe how you think it will impact not just our ecosystem, but other ecosystems and in Web3 in general, and how the creator economy will be more or less like better shaped by it. And again, like in general, like how will it affect individuals in Web3? If any of you have any thoughts to share.
I do have a random question when you were saying about releasing rewards, Tinkernet rewards to projects. Is a partnership with Oak Network something that would allow for automatic release of those funds so that it's easier for people in the multi-sig to manage it?
If you saw Gabe's tweet to David from Oak Network, that is, I would say, consider like, a form of alpha. And I believe that was Gabe that mentioned it and tagged him. But yeah, like that's definitely something that I believe we are exploring now. For one thing, I can't reveal things, but also personally, I haven't been caught up to speed on that. But I think, I will say this: it is definitely something feasible that that could be realized, and I think it would be just an amazing service to the immediate ecosystem if that were to take place. So that's my answer. Anyone else thoughts on the OSIP protocol? Any first impressions?
I haven't used it yet. I plan to today.
Awesome. Yeah. So just to clarify, by what Yaki means by haven't using it yet. So currently, right now, we do have the OSIF staking public testing event happening. And it's essentially just the community, people from the public, they're able to test out the OSIF staking feature of the OSIF protocol. And you'll be able to earn rewards, like real rewards, by the end of it. So currently, you are using test tokens, and you can stake to any of the. I believe right now it's still 4 INV cores, and everyone by the end, all OSIF staking testers, I'd like to call them, will be sharing in a prize pool of 50,000 Tinker. But more on that later. But yes, so that's what Yaki is referring to. Oh, and we got Dakota in the house. 1 second. Let me let him in.
Yellow.
Hey, Dakota, how's it going?
How goes it? Just thought I'd Oh, that's cool. No, I just thought I've literally been up all night working, haven't slept yet. It's 10:30 in the morning, so I probably won't sleep today. But I thought I'd hop in and just see how everyone's doing. It's been a phenomenal week, to say the least. That's actually why I've been up. It's just because throughout the night I was getting just a bunch of actually a lot of like good news and statistics thrown my way, which are just really awesome to get. But yeah, I just wanted to hop in here. I'm sticking to my New Year's resolution, getting being more directly active in things. So I guess the big one would be hopping in our community calls and seeing how everyone's doing. A lot of amazing people I see here. I just want to thank, if I could real quick, just Mike. Want to thank you, Mike, Air Force Mike, for being so phenomenal. Like, you've been a really great ambassador lately. A lot of people here, like Richie, you've been phenomenal. Jalissa, you've always been a phenomenal ambassador. You've been around since the beginning, and I always appreciate all the work you've done. Natty, like, you, new ambassador, been killing it since you got in here. Like, absolutely amazing. I know I'm missing people, so I apologize. But yeah, just absolutely amazing to see everyone here, and just the awesome week that we've been having. I'm gonna shut up for a little bit and let AJ do his thing, but I will be here. I'll chime in when it's good.
Oh, thank you for coming in. I actually want to, I guess, relay the question from Yaki. So, if I can word this correctly, Yaki asked if would there possibly be some sort of automation set up when it comes to the live version of OSIF staking with Oak Network.
Yes. So on day one, I don't know if we're going to work towards it, to having that ready, like, at launch. However, we still have to, so with that, have to open up an HRP channel with Oak, and then there's obviously some configurations they have to do, but nothing too far outside of their toolbox from things that they've already done for some other teams in the past. So imagine it wouldn't be too much work, but I don't have necessarily don't have the green lights to where it's all there, it's in place, and it's working, to where I can with absolute confidence say yes, that will be in place. But I can say that if it's not in place on day one, which again we will be working towards having, it will be there available very soon after, to where individuals will just be able to have the opportunity when they claim their rewards. They'll be able to have kind of like a toggle button, essentially, to where they can, when they claim those rewards, they'll just automatically restake for them. They won't have to do 2 clicks or anything like that. We'll also, though, be looking into, I guess, with Oak, to where they have automated compounding, which is really the powerful stuff there, to where without you necessarily needing to always go back and claim rewards, have a system to where it automatically claims and restakes or compounds your rewards for you. And that's, again, something that we will have. The question is whether we have it on day one, but absolutely a feature that we will have soon if it isn't on day one.
Wonderful. Honestly, just wonderful. And again, like I've already mentioned it, but seeing, I believe it was either you or Gabe, but tweeting out to David from Oak Network and seeing what can be done, I guess. Again, considering that might be alpha, but it's definitely something to look forward to.
Oh, no, that's, I mean, I guess everything's alpha in a sense, but
Yeah.
but no, but definitely, I would say, so like the public love that we have for Oak, I would hope is relatively known, and then vice versa for them. Definitely have a good relationship with the guys. Already talking with them, so yeah, it's definitely in store, definitely in the stars. So I am looking forward to that. One really cool feature I will say, I just want to note, because this is slightly different from what most people are used to, is that you will be able to stake your locked tokens. So typically, no matter what process you go through, you get your crowd loan tokens. There's typically a large majority of them are locked. So you can only use, and this isn't for all cases, but in most cases, you can only use your unlocked and claimable tokens. You claim them, and then you can go and use them for whatever activity. But with OSIP staking, even your locked crowd loan rewards, or specifically your locked crowd loan rewards, or anyone like any Udl who's received Tinker, any Tinker you have, if you have Tinker, whether it's free or it's locked investing, you will be able to use that in full during OSIP. So that'll be really awesome.
There we go. Yeah, no, that's much anticipation to really get into and to look forward to as we move forward with the OSIP protocol. But thank you, Dakota, for all that. And then moving forward throughout the week. So on this still same topic. So we did start off with the new year back, the new week back into the new year with the OSIP staking public testing event, and by the second day, we already saw, I believe, over 500 individuals testing out OSIP staking. So, if you actually give it a closer look in terms of the basic UI right now, so tinker.network/staking. You can actually see how much test tokens are being staked to each InvArch core and how many individuals or stakers have been staking to them with the.
I just wanted to chime in because I actually this is one of the things, half the reason why I've been up so late is because of this good news. So I can share that as of right now, well, about an hour ago, last time we checked, we have 1,405, so probably a little bit more than that, but 1,405 individual participants, so individual accounts participating in OSIP staking. So that's really phenomenal, to be honest, just because, I don't know what I was expecting for the turnout to be, but I will say that just the numbers that we've seen have been incredible. Absolutely incredible to see this many individuals participating in this process. Phenomenal. I've got excited. Kind of shared this news with some people from Parity, and the feedback that they've got is really excited. The big thing that I shared with them, and this is alpha. I'm still waiting on the green light to actually share the graphic visuals that show everything, that show all of the data. But a snapshot that was taken after just one day. So this data only included our first day of having OSIP staking live, and not even the full 24 hours. So the significance there. So keeping that in mind, so out of a 7-day snapshot and OSIP only going live during the not even last 24 hours of the last day of that snapshot, let me grab the actual data. So this is kind of cool, but so the Tinker.network app that we have for staking is the number one used app in the entire ecosystem by transaction count. It is, let's see right here. It is, almost twice as much as the next follow-up, which is Manta Network. And then, Manta Network is actually, there's two different ones, so you can combine those. Okay, so it's about 300 less transactions than Manta Network. And then from there on out, the next one following behind has 290 transactions, compared to us having about 17,000. So massive numbers. It's incredible. And regarding on-chain activity, technically this isn't actually like Polkadot, but like because it is just our brainstorm testnet. But the InvArch brainstorm testnet is the most active chain in the entire ecosystem as of that snapshot. So it's really cool. I'm really proud of that. I did not anticipate to see those type of numbers. It's just really cool. You know, our DApp on our testnet is the #1 used product in the ecosystem right now. So it's really awesome. It means more than the world to me. I can't even describe like the feeling, like the excitement and just the hype that Gabe and I had when these numbers were shown to us. And again, that's why I've been up, is just this excitement and getting this information at hours that I probably should have been sleeping. But it's been phenomenal. Like, just absolutely, excuse my language, but like, holy shit, it's been incredible. To see these numbers is insane. Feels really good, I will say. But it's the important thing here is this is just the start, and to see those numbers, they are cool, but they're nothing to get complacent over. It's just, for me, it's a really awesome indicator for what the future has in store, as long as we continue to do a good job. And yeah, I just thank you to everyone here who's in the chat, everyone who's participated so far. If you haven't, make sure you do. But yeah, really awesome statistics and numbers coming out of this.
I'd say a great question for you, Dakota, would be if you were to give a number, realistically, like how many transactions or even how many people were you expecting to at least participate in this public testing event?
So, I mean, transaction count wasn't typically not something that I'm accounting for in my head. Just looking at like the more so like raw individuals. But with that, honestly, I didn't give it too much. Honestly, I would have been thrilled if we had 100 people. Like, I never thought to myself, like, here's how much I think we'll have. That just never went through my head. More so, I just set like a minimum milestone in my head per se, and I had like 100, and if we hit that, then I would just be really happy. And before I could even ask Gabe where we at, he messaged me. He was like, "Yeah, we got a couple hundred," and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is cool." So, and then even from there, then I was like, "Awesome." Like, let's shoot for 1,000. And then to me, like, that was like the big goal. So to see us at the 1,400 mark, 1,400 mark, and passing that is just phenomenal. Exceeds expectations.
Most definitely. And honestly, I did kind of anticipate for at least a good handful of people participating, but I wasn't expecting those numbers. So that's just amazing to hear, especially now that we're ending the first week of the OSIF testing event. But yeah, so I guess
only day 3. Well, I guess I'm kind of a week, but
yeah,
3 full days. Getting ready to. I think we actually I gotta check, but I think the third era might have just ended. So now we are. Gosh dang, I have a lot of tabs open. I got to start using that Arc browser, which is really awesome.
Dakota, I have a question about the staking mechanism in InvArch,
Yeah,
and comparing it to Astar's version 3 of DApp staking and the improvements. I don't know if you've seen the list of things that they're wanting to fix, but do you think that the staking mechanisms here are already supporting that kind of infrastructure and functionality?
Well, I would say so. I've seen it's on my list. Like, of course, I want to take a read at it. Main thing is really for me is just to make sure that I'm not stepping on anyone's toes, because I have the utmost respect for Astar Network and really just Soda as an individual. I think he's honestly, like, to me, it might sound kind of odd, but like over the year, he's in a sense kind of come like a role model to me, because just how I've seen him conduct himself through his community, but then also in person. I've had the privilege to meet Soda, and He's a phenomenal person. Like the drive he has, the passion that he seeks out in others is amazing. I think it speaks for, like, if you see the Astar team, some of my favorite people, like literally, like some of my, I mean, I say they're my friends, you know. But with that, I will say, I don't believe I can't. So I haven't read it, so I can't necessarily say if this covers that or this doesn't. But I think the most important thing on two fronts is, so first with ours, I will note that this is just phase 1 of 4. So there was that OSIF protocol article that I released recently, which kind of shared the longer term vision. And then with that, I'll say, so like our longer term vision is focused on optimizing this specifically for DAOs. So right now, technically, it doesn't have to be a DAO. It could be any INV core, and that is good. And in the future, that'll still be possible. However, the overall experience will be more tailored towards DAOs, and a lot of the funding channels and opportunities will be more geared towards DAOs specifically. And so I will highlight that no matter what evolutions take place between those two systems, I think that, and this is important, I think that they are fundamentally, they serve the same goal, you know, which is, I think, a very brilliant goal, a way of using, you know, the fact that we taking advantage of the shared security of Polkadot to optimize your staking protocol towards something else, and using that staking protocol, if you can, to actually fuel the development on your chain. I think it's brilliant. So with Astar, it is DApp staking, smart contracts, EVM or WASM, or correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, I believe it could be either. But the beauty of that, and with it, is that they have their own kind of niche in a sense. And they're able to also, I would say, service a broader array of developers or of creators. But there is a keen difference between the needs specifically of a DApp developer versus just a DAO, and how a protocol could service and help to fund either of those two. I do believe that over time, and it's another like great thing of Substrate is the fact that we can so easily move forward, innovate, and upgrade. And I believe that, you know, whether it's a year or 5 years from now, when you see those two different staking systems, I believe that what you'll end up seeing is one that is truly and highly optimized for DApp staking, for smart contract staking, specifically more for developers, and simulating the more technical development, you know, developers in the world, simulating that ecosystem growth. Whereas OSIF will be highly optimized towards DAOs, not necessarily developers. We're seeking to provide a lot of no-code solutions. So where Astar, I believe, can help, and will, as it is, help to continue to subsidize, kickstart, and sustain DApp smart contract development on their chain, OSIF will be more tailored towards kind of providing this economic underbelly for, you know, digital businesses per se. So yeah, that's my main take on that. I have to give it a read, and then after that, I could probably give a, I guess, a more constructive answer. But I would say that no matter what, let's say if I did read and I was like, oh, you know, similarities, synergies here, the key thing is that they're both achieving similar strategies to achieve those goals, but ultimately different goals and who they are optimizing their services towards, which I think is important. And then also essential too, that we have these two different avenues, because understanding that there are technical developers which build a lot of the new awesome products, and then there's going to be this age of digital businesses and organizations on chain, and so OSIF providing this kind of stimulant for that.
Thanks for the reply, and I totally agree with you that the staking mechanics of both networks are similar but very different. And as a creator in Polkadot who will in the future utilize both, I foresee myself as an example using the staking mechanisms of InvArch to help with, you know, Shiba Tails DAO, and also being able to put the public code repo on InvArch, whereas assets and smart contracts would be execute it through Swanky and have some Sheep Tails game staked on or set up on Astar where people could stake on that too. And yeah, it's really exciting for
But like
sure for
one
me.
thing, and I guess like a really good example you just kind of brought to the forefront of my mind is so where these two systems actually complement each other very, very well. Um, is imagine you have I use a developer DAO, for example. So you have a DAO of developers that focuses on creating, solutions, whatever technical solution that may be. Focus on building, dApps and products. Now, that DAO itself could, they provide a service. And they can, whether they build it internally or they build out things for others for fee or for cost, whatever their economic model may be, they're able to launch, be deployed on InvArch network, the actual DAO itself. And for, I guess, the ecosystem or the InvArch ecosystem, the greater Polkadot ecosystem supporting that DAO and the overall services that they aim to achieve, then there is this funding opportunity through OSIF. And at the same time, while their DAO is being supported, let's say that DAO is creating a dApp in which they're going to launch on Astar, and they do. And then that dApp, if decided by the Astar community, everyone likes it, then that dApp itself can be supported through Astar dApp staking. And then that funding, again, can just help to bolster that DAO even more for their specific works. So actually a very, very complementary system there.
Man, lots of Giga Brain discussion going on. I love it.
That
But
actually
one final
excites
thing
me a lot.
for go ahead, Dakota.
No, my bad. I was just going to ramble about how I do like that idea of like a developer DAO launched on InvArch, building out dApps on Astar network. I
Yeah,
love Astar network, so there's like a lot of plans. Like
I know.
even Gabe and I, like we have a lot of plans. Ultimately, like we don't have EVM or any type of virtual machine, and we do. We plan to deploy it's not a virtual machine, not like on other chains. It's technically a virtual machine, but um, semi permissionless, if that makes sense, like community controlled, and it's basically just tailored for smart licenses and just that, which is, I would argue, it's very different. It's not like launching a dApp on a typical virtual machine. So with that in mind, Gabe and I from the beginning, um, we've always looked at Astar as the chain that I'll be honest, in the back of our heads, we kind of just rely on being there in the future because we hope to, and we know they will be. We want them to actually, they provide, this is what they do. They do it well. They do it amazing. They are the leaders, especially when it comes to WASM. I mean, they're trailblazing, leading the way. So if that's what they excel in, and God knows, like we got enough going on as it is, then the beauty of Polkadot is, and especially with a lot of the work that Gabe has done with trustless XCM transacts, we'll be able to have it to where developers on both chains in the future will be able to, a DAO will be able to exist on InvArch and deploy contracts. So they think natively, but it's not on our chain. They would be deploying those contracts on Astar. And again, teams that are building on Astar, and I know that Astar has their own, like things like Astar Safe that I've seen, but in hand, they'll also have all of the native functionality that, like, for example, Saturn provides. Once that's built out, and once we have an open channel with Astar, then any developer that's building on that chain will be able to tap into and build on top of and use the Saturn multisig as if they were native palettes on Astar, which is really cool because it will directly enhance the experience of the developers on that chain and just improves their experience, which I think will be really awesome and really powerful. Um, and again, another reason why I'm a big fan of Soda is just because he is one of the, not to say that they're not out there, I just haven't heard them speak on it. He's the one founder that the most, as much as I firmly believe shares and understands this cross-chain future and really the Polkadot vision and what it can achieve using XCM.
Yeah, he's great. He's just connecting all of the big players in Japan so easily. It's quite amazing to see, and reading that
See
news
Nintendo.
is.
Look, Dustin, just hear me out. Look, Astar plus Nintendo. I've been planning out an NFT integrate, not actually building it, but like in my head. I have this plan. I shared it with Bruno like a year ago, but I would love to see NFTs mixed in with Pokemon. Just so many possibilities. You can actually solve problems for them. Like I'm just saying, for like there's like actual problems you can solve, and it actually might sound funny, but verification of unique Pokemon is actually a massive like thing that they have to deal with. Boom, you can immediately solve that. You could open them up to the idea of a metaverse, and then get rid of the NPCs at certain, not like all of them, but like the gym leader NPCs or the daycare provider NPCs, and replace those with actual roles that real people could fill in. And I don't know, it gets pretty cool. You create like this whole economy on it. But that's just I don't know, just a boy with a wish.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty cool to see. And honestly, I don't think it wouldn't be. I don't think Soda would have a problem with that idea, and maybe getting it off the ground. I mean, he is well connected in Japan, so. But yeah, so we are approaching the full hour mark here with 8 minutes left to go for the space. I do want to highlight something that was just released this morning, at least on my side of the globe here, but we did have a recently published Cointelegraph article that was tweeted out first initially as an announcement, and it's on the creator economy, and it is by the InvArch network, but titled "What Needs to Happen to Have an Effective Blockchain Creator Economy." And now, to give you a very short summary here in a nutshell, um, blockchain tech has been long attractive to creators, but considering like the interoperability in Web3, or the ability to collaborate and integrate with other blockchains, and therefore to collaborate with each other, this has been like a limitation. And as a result, I mean, developers often have to decide on a single blockchain to work on, and there's very little room for integrations beyond that protocol of choice, which can be limiting, as a new blockchains and new capabilities and new technologies and new solutions are constantly emerging and evolving. Now in the article we do, or the article, not we, but like the article does address a solution to this problem, and it's the use of Polkadot and its parachains or parallelized chains, which are separate blockchains. For those that are new in the audience and are potentially new to the ecosystem, parachains are separate blockchains that run in parallel to each other and achieve consensus and security through a base chain called the Polkadot Relay chain. And it's the same exact model for the Kusama network as well. Parachains allow for the cross-chain connection of services and enabling creators to share, to transfer, and to exchange data of any kind. And protocol builders are, we've seen them turning to the ecosystem, and which it's parachains at its core. We can offer easy access, and to certain services that we build out, to tools, to tooling, to solutions. And with the InvArch network, if you don't know, we are focused on offering a full suite of multi-party ownership, collaboration, and monetization tools for creators, and to therefore further enhance and to open up more opportunities for creators in Web3. So that's definitely a great read, and I think I'm on my third read on it, and it's amazing to really have something out during this time, as we continue with OSIP staking and the public testing event. And of course, hearing the awesome news from Dakota about the amount of transactions and the amount of individuals that have been participating and achieving those milestones. I think it's just amazing to really hear that. And moving forward, it's awesome as we gear up to launching the actual live version of OSIF staking. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And I feel like it's a great time to conclude things. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Dakota, for joining me. Oh, and one more thing I do want to say before I forget. I also want to, since Dakota gave shout outs to the ambassadors here, but I do also want to shout out DJ or DJ Board. He's also been very phenomenal and very hardworking. And he's been on the ball with maintaining communications with new members of the community, specifically those that are participating or are coming to participate in the public testing event. And he's been very consistent and showing up for them, as with the other ambassadors. But also, I didn't want to forget him as well. And I think he did lead the. Oh no, he is. He's a master's sporky, I think. But yeah, so thank you to everyone in that regard. But thank you for joining me in the first InvArch Weekly Community Call of the year. And thank you in advance for everyone else who will be tuning into the full video recording, and that can be expected to be uploaded onto the official InvArch Network YouTube channel within the next 24 to 48 hours. I hope you all have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you all next week for the next InvArch Weekly Community Call. Thank you.
Thank you again to everyone who's here now, and just thank you again to everyone who has been showing up, who's, whether it's just across social media, showing support for the project, like Bowser, I see you in here, Bowser Stacks, like, I even notice when I notice when everyone does it. I see all the notifications, and sometimes I forget to like things, I get distracted, but like, it really does, like, I see them all, and each individual instance, it means something great to me. So I really genuinely appreciate everyone here. Without you, where we are now wouldn't be possible. I mean, this has really turned into a community project. Like, I feel like I'm a founder of the people, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You all are amazing. You know, the numbers and everything I spoke about earlier, it's because of everyone here. So thank you. We're kicking ass, and it's just the start of the year. So I can't wait for the future.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Dakota. That was so cool. Dustin, as always, AJ, thank you guys so much. It's really cool to be a part of this. I've loved everything about OSIF since the very beginning. Only a couple of days, more than 1,100 people participating. That is so cool. And I think it's only going to get better. Stay awesome, everyone. Until next week.
Until next week, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.